It's the Al Travis Show. We've got him, Jerry Groskreutz, our farmer extraordinaire, on the program, talking all things farming. Jerry, how you been?
Well, I'm hanging in there looking toward fall. This is about my favorite time of the year. We don't have a bumper crop because we got so much rain, but it's sure a darn sight better than last year. So kind of fun
You bet.
looking forward to harvest, and mowing the lawn and starting to think about getting some machinery ready. Been spraying some weeds along line fences and stuff. And I won't have to get the road ditches mowed yet.
Let me ask you this: some of the corn up on some of the crops up on my place, the golf course, are starting to turn. Is that because of the cool evenings? Are we just the end of the process here? Are you going to be out there taking the corn away here in the next 2 weeks?
If I was still a dairy farmer, I'd be harvesting corn right now, probably primed for chopping. But
Okay.
I won't start combining corn. It's going to be about a month yet. And it's amazing how the beans can be pretty much grass green.
Mhm.
And you get to Labor Day weekend and you flip the calendar to September, and almost overnight you start
Yeah.
to see a little yellow hint to the crop. There's a few dead plants out there here and there, a little bit of white mold, but I haven't seen anything severe in my fields. There's a little bit of sudden death in some headlands where they started to yellow, but for the most part, it was looking good. And all at once, I don't know, the beans they flower according to day length. And when those
Okay.
days start getting shorter, all at once those beans say, hey, it's time to start finishing up because the end is near.
There you go. Let me ask you about the cutting of your culverts and stuff. Is that a thing with you have to do it once a month? Is that a thing where you're told you just have to manage it? Are you able at your will to do that? And if you do it now, will you have to do it again another time, or is this, I just want, do you have to do it once a month or something?
No, I don't. Some people actually mow the road ditch along their building site. I do about 50 feet by the driveway,
Okay.
but then I just clip the road ditches sometime once a year. Some guys do it twice a year. I'm pretty busy in the summer, so I don't get time to do it until
Is
before
that
fall.
on, as a farmer, is that on you? You own the acreage around it, so then you have to maintain the ditch?
Well, the township roads, most townships, you have to mow at least a couple swaths on the top so that it's not grass standing there to stop the snow in the wintertime. And if you don't do it, the township that I'm living in will do it and they'll charge me for it.
Oh,
So
okay.
Jerry works a lot cheaper, you know.
Yeah,
We
general.
just wanted it done before, the snow flies. And the county, I think they pretty much they'll mow a couple of swaths. I don't think there's anything in the county that says I have to do it. But
Okay.
if you don't, the weeds are growing up, and the reason I have to do it is because of my brothers.
What, your brothers? What do you mean?
There's a little clause in the rental contract that I rent from the family that I have to mow the road ditches so they look better. And it's a good thing. I've always done it anyway.
Okay. It just seems like that one more thing you got to do. But I get it. I have to do the boulevard at my home. I
Yep.
mean, it's theirs, but I got to do the boulevard. So I guess that makes some sense.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh,
Technically, do you know that I own the land to the center of that county blacktop? I own the
yeah,
land to the center of that township road. Of course, I can't farm it, and they can determine how close I can. I have to give
yeah.
them the right of way, but not that it's a burr in my saddle, but I get to pay taxes on that land to the center of the road too,
It
just in
sounds like
case
it,
you
it
didn't know.
sounds like it sticks you a little bit, but I understand 100%. Let me ask you this: we've been through the summer of tariffs. I don't remember when Liberation Day was, but we set tariffs up. And I remember you farmers, oh, good God golly, this is the end. What are we going to do? I'm not hearing that anymore. Did we get through it? Is it all priced into the price of beans now? What's going
Well,
on?
I have heard that, like in northwestern Minnesota, the Red River Valley, they
Mm-hmm.
kind of got away from the big crop like the wheat and the oats, and they're raising a lot of soybeans up there and some corn too. And a lot of those beans are railed to the west coast, and that's like a direct pipeline to China. So their basis, the difference between futures and their cash price, is really bad because not too many beans are going to China or are booked to go to China. But if you look at the weekly export sales report and the loadings, where the ship was actually loaded and where it's going, none have been going to China that we know of, but a lot of other countries that I've never seen show up on that list before. So I think
Really?
China's buying up a lot of beans from South America, so you don't have to buy them from us. But then those other countries are buying from us because there's only so many beans, there's only so much corn in the world, and there's some jockeying around. So maybe it isn't quite as bad as a lot of people thought. And here's the thing that did have me worried, though, was fertilizer, because the anhydrous ammonia nitrogen, most of that is U.S., but all the dry nitrogen, the urea, the liquid nitrogen comes from overseas. And a lot of the potash does too, and some of the phosphorus. So I was a little worried about that. But I got the prices from my co-op here about 2 weeks ago. Generally speaking, macronutrients, N, P, and K, and micronutrients like sulfur only up 5 to 7%. Well, given
What?
how bad inflation has been and stuff, it wasn't, knock on wood, anywhere near as bad as I anticipated that it would be. So maybe we'll
That's
have a little bit more time. Now, the really tough part is the farmers that can't put anhydrous ammonia on in the fall,
why
because like
can't they?
the karst region in southeastern Minnesota, you're
Hmm.
more likely to lose it. Well, you'd like to put it on, but you pay big bucks for it. You don't want to have it
Wasted.
lost. You want it there for your corn. Plus, it's an environmental concern. So they have no idea what the nitrogen costs are going to
Gotcha.
be next spring.
All right, fair enough. Let's go to break. When you come back, I want to talk a couple things with you. Beef and corn. I've got him. He's Jerry Groskreutz, farmer extraordinaire. More right after this. We've got him, Jerry Groskreutz, talking all things farming. I think the beef guys have got one up on you,
Oh,
hog guys, and I don't think you should be happy. You need marketing people. They need to talk to me.
yeah, boy. I wish I was a cattleman right now and had a bunch of cattle. I wouldn't necessarily want to be buying cattle right now, but it sure would be nice to be able to sell some cattle these days. Wow.
According to the Star Trib, when some products become too expensive, people buy less. It's this whole supply demand thing. Evidently not with beef, despite record high prices for red meat, thanks to a record number of cows. Demand for fresh protein keeps going up. Folks are more interested in a juicy Lucy than following the law of supply and demand. So prices are up, demand is up. Get me a cow, baby.
Really, that is for sure. But I would suspect that maybe you would buy a little bit less beef. Maybe you would buy a little more chicken or pork,
Mm-hmm.
or turkey maybe. But there's nothing like beef, Al.
Oh, you're talking to the wrong guy. Absolutely correct. But I'm also watching the prices. They go up and up and up. And I'm like, at some point, am I really worth it? I don't know. We'll find out. The other one was corn. I asked you how things were going. I find this is from Successful Farming. The USDA crop progress report released last week. All but 4 states reported mature corn. Minnesota is making its first debut on mature corn. 2% of the corn at mature growth stage. Last year it was 4%. Why do I remember last year being so much worse, and we have half as much mature corn as we did last year? What am I missing?
Well, I think, remember, Al, with corn, it's all about heat. Remember, growing
Okay.
degree units measure of
Yep.
heat. And for example, when the corn is pollinated and that kernel of corn is starting to develop, it'll
Yep.
get to the milk stage where if you squeeze it, you'll get some milk out of it. Then it starts to turn to starch, and you'll see a line on the very outside tip, or the outside of the kernel. You'll see a line, and that line, as the corn matures, will go down to the bottom right next to the cob. And
Mm-hmm.
it's all about heat.
Okay.
And once it has enough growing degree units, then it'll form a black layer at the bottom of the tip, meaning I've got all the starch, all the new, it's
Got
mature,
everything.
and 2% versus 4%. margin of error. We're right on track.
All
Just
right,
keep
you're
on
okay.
bringing those upper 70-degree days out with sunshine.
All right. Let me ask you this one last question before I let you go. Brooke Rollins, the Secretary of Ag, announced a commitment to new actions to increase the number of rural food animal veterinarians across the U.S., trying to help get us more vets. I think it was you. Somebody had talked. We need vets like nobody's business. Do you really want the government getting involved in your veterinary care out here?
Well, I think the way they could get involved is maybe help with the tuition because vet school, I think, is as high or higher than medical school. Because way back when I was in college already, believe it or not, we didn't have one room schoolhouses then. We did have colleges, Al.
All right.
But there was a tuition break for guys and gals that were in vet school that wanted to specialize in large animal and be out in rural areas. Because, boy, they've got, let's just say, running around in farms is a lot different than sitting in your office waiting
Wait.
for Al to bring his dog and his cat in. And there's a difference as to how much you can charge, too,
Yeah.
because we want to do the best thing we can taking care of our livestock. But economics enter into it, too. And there's a point when you just have to say she's going to market or
Yeah.
she'll be euthanized because she's not going to
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah. On my way out, you're a big Vikings fan, correct?
I'm a bigger Gophers fan than Vikings, but that's a whole nother story with who's got the most money to buy the best players in college too now. But I still
It
watch them both.
Do you? I guess my question is: you're out there going to do things, harvest and the rest, get the rest of your work done. Will you work around that? Will you make sure? Will you take 3 hours off, watch a Gopher game, or are you just going to have to listen to it as you go on the radio? What do you do?
You're going to be really impressed with this. I'm not exactly a computer geek, but I do know how to do this. I will listen to it, and when I'm home, I will set it up to record it.
Oh,
And
there you.
so then it's really fun. A great game. They pulled it out. Then it's really fun to watch the game if you just listen
Gotcha.
to it to see the great plays. You know it's going to be okay because they're going to pull it out. But that's what I do because if there's work to be done, whether it's mowing lawn or whatever, I'll listen to the Gophers or the Vikings.
Fair
And
enough.
if they played horrible and lost when they shouldn't have, when I get home, I know how to delete things too.
You're a well-rounded guy, my friend. I appreciate you being here, and I really thank you doing the program with me, my friend.
Talk to you next week. And by the way, you look great. You survived all the golf over the weekend.
I got a lot of sun, but it was cool, and it worked out. Thank you for the noticing. It's the Al Travis Show. Jerry Groskreutz, farmer extraordinaire. More after this.